Welcome to Small Town Whispers, where history, folklore, and the paranormal collide. I'm Bethany Yucuis Borden, and I lived in Watseka, Illinois from 1988 to 1999. For over a decade, I walked the same streets, saw the same houses, and even had friends connected to the story we're about to dive into. This isn't just history for me, it's personal. Welcome back to Small Town Whispers. Summer has finally settled in here in Wilmington. The air feels heavier, the evenings stay brighter a little longer, and everything seems alive with that restless energy that comes before a storm. But in our story, we're still standing at the edge of spring, and at the edge of the final chapter in this strange history of Watseka. As this season of the podcast begins winding down, I've been thinking a lot about the journey it took to get here. I'm someone who has always had ideas, sometimes too many ideas, but following through has not always come easily for me. Perfectionism has a way of turning excitement into procrastination. Worrying about what other people think can make even the smallest step feel impossible. I've often been able to picture the finished project clearly in my mind, but struggle with the messy middle it takes to bring something to life. Today, Facebook memories reminded me just how far I've come. Exactly 8 years ago, I was trying to launch a podcast called Schoolhouse Talks, kind of a play on Schoolhouse Rock. I was using the very same equipment I use now. At the time, I wanted to create a space where teachers could share funny, heartfelt, and honest stories about life inside public education. I had a logo designed. I had encouragement. I had everything I needed, except courage. I never hit publish. Fear won that time. And for years, I also dreamed about creating an audiobook version of this book, Watseka. So when I committed to producing an entire season of this podcast, I'll be honest, I had my doubts. I tried to keep myself impossibly organized. I second-guessed myself constantly. But this time, I also had support. My husband encouraged me. Friends stepped in to help bring these characters to life. I met fellow podcasters who inspired me to keep going even when I felt overwhelmed. And now, here we are, approaching the finish line together. This year, I've been trying to focus on both my goal line, making a living, and my soul line, making a difference while doing something I genuinely love. No matter what happens with this podcast moving forward, I'm proud that I finally hit publish. I'm grateful this story gets to live on in a new way. And more than anything, I've loved connecting with so many people who are just as fascinated by the paranormal, the unexplained, and the deeply human stories hidden inside these mysteries. So if you've been sitting on an idea, a dream, or a creative project of your own, consider this your sign. You are capable of more than fear wants you to believe. Now let's get back to the story. Last week, Lucy carried Lorancy Venom, unconscious, to Minerva's home after Lorancy was attacked by Lavinia Durst at the Methodist Church. Now, evening has fallen, and Mary has a plan. That's where we return to Watseka, America's most extraordinary case of possession and exorcism, on page 292. That evening, Laurence acted as if nothing had happened. She indeed seemed quite content. She told the Roffs, as well as Lucy and Minerva, that everything was going to be all right and insisted they not worry. She had regained consciousness at Minerva's house, had walked home rather than ride in the buggy, and what most surprised the family about the entire incident, by sundown, the wound on her temple had healed. There was no blood, no bruise, no scar, nothing.
They have taken care of it, the way they are going to take care of everything else.
In the morning, she asked Asa to have the entire family gathered at home after dinner. Everyone? Why?
There's going to be a manifestation just for the family, and for Dr. Stevens and Mayor Peters, and for Lucy and Charlotte too, of course. They told me last night. They want the back parlor room cleared of all furniture and chairs enough for everyone placed in a circle.
Are we going to have a seance?
I don't know, Pa. Something like that. They want everyone to be there, even the boys. I gather it's going to be rather special. Will you make the arrangements? Call the folks together?
Of course I will. You can't tell me any more?
I don't know anymore.
How about the Venoms? Tom, Lorinda, Henry?
No, they are not ready for it. Not ready at all.
Because there would be so many people for dinner, Charlotte, with Lucy's help, prepared a buffet-style meal. There was a picnic atmosphere about it all, and everyone ate more than they should have. Except for Laurence. She didn't eat a bite. No matter how they coaxed her, or pressed a forkful of this or a spoonful of that just to taste, she shook her head. The women brought all the dishes into the kitchen, and while they were washing and stacking them, Frank and Charlie pushed aside the parlor furniture and placed 11 chairs in a circle. Laurence came in to inspect their work.
Add one more.
Why? Charlie asked. There's only 11 of us, counting you.
Add one more. There are to be 12 chairs, and one of them is to remain empty.
The boys shrugged, found another chair, and added it. When the sun had gone down all the way, Laurence told Asa she was ready.
Will you call them, Pa? I'll be in the parlor.
One by one they came in, and Mary told them where to sit.
It's as if we have a big clock, and we should have a man sitting next to a woman and then another man as much as possible.
She drew a pencil diagram from her dress pocket.
I'll sit here at 12 o'clock, and Pa, you sit at 1 o'clock. And Dr. Stevens, will you please sit at my right at 11 o'clock? Now, Lucy, you will be at 2 o'clock, and Colonel Peters next to her at 3.
She waited until they took their places.
Now, Nervy, you sit at 4 and Charlie at 5. The 6 o'clock chair, the one right opposite me, is to remain vacant. Is that understood?
She looked sharply around the room.
Nobody is to sit there, ever.
Charlie sat in his 5 o'clock position and edged slightly away from the 6 o'clock forbidden chair. Is there someone sitting there now?
Not yet, but there will be.
Can't I change seats? I mean, can't you put Frank or somebody here? He was serious. I'm not sitting there. You can have it.
Good, because I want you to sit at the 7 o'clock chair, just on the other side of the empty one.
Oh, cripes, Frank said. Frank, watch your language, Anne spoke up. Please. Ha! Charlie felt better. Good. You got the other side. If it had been any other time or place, Frank would have taken a poke at his younger brother. Instead, he sat resignedly in the 7 o'clock chair.
Now, Charlotte, will you sit beside Frank at 8 o'clock?
I wasn't planning on sitting anywhere at all. The woman was in the doorway still wearing her apron, not at all happy about what was taking place.
Please, Charlotte. It's very important that you do.
The woman looked at Anne. Do I have to, Mrs.? I prefer not to. Anne looked at her daughter. Can't she be excused, Mary? The voice was determined.
No, Ma. She can't.
Then please, Charlotte, come in and sit beside Frank, Anne said. Das ist blöd. She scowled, making sure they all knew she didn't like this.
Henry Alter, will you please sit at 9 beside Charlotte? And Ma, will you sit between Henry and Dr. Stevens?
Minerva's husband took his place beside the cook and glanced unhappily down at 4 o'clock, where his wife Minerva was sitting. "I've never been to one of these things before," he said. "I don't think I know what to do." "The best thing to do when you don't know what to do," Dr. Stevens said, "is to do nothing. Just sit there and await the happenings. If you are supposed to do something or say something, you will know it at the right time."
Correct. Absolutely correct. There is one more thing before we begin.
The girl was very businesslike.
Charlotte, I need a small basin of water. Would you fetch one, please? A small one, about as big as a dinner plate.
"But filled with water?" the woman asked. Lorancy nodded, and the cook, glad to get out of the room, if only for a minute, went immediately to do as she was asked.
And Lucy, dear, dear Lucy, I want you to go upstairs to my bedroom. There is a loose edging on the dresser. Will you remove it and take out the small carving? Remember when we put it there so many years ago?
Lucy stood up, swaying slightly with the shock of this child recalling something that she had almost forgotten. And that had happened to another child, a child who had been dead going on 13 years. "You remember that thing?" she said in amazement. "I had clean let it go out of my mind." "What thing?" Asa asked. "Something I gave Mary when she was about to go to that awful place in Peoria. And this child remembered it."
It's just where we put it, Lucy. Just where we put it.
Charlotte came back with the basin of water. "Where do you want it?" she asked.
In the center of the circle. Yes, that's about right. Right there.
"There are only 2 of us here who have never attended one of these things," Henry Alter said. "You and me, Charlotte. Good thing they put us next to each other." "Well," she answered, "I'm sure the colonel there has never been to one of these seance things." "Don't be so sure, Mrs. Wiedener," he laughed. "I've attended many of these in my lifetime." "What's going to happen?" she demanded. "I can't tell you," the mayor answered, "for I don't know myself. But if it's a good one, and I'm sure it will be, it could change your entire life." "Nothing could change my life," she scoffed. "I am too old to change. My life isn't a pattern, and it's a good pattern." "Then you don't want to change," he suggested. She grunted, crossed her arms, and said nothing. Lucy came back into the room. "Here it is," she beamed. "Just like Mary and I left it." Charlie rose up and reached out his hand. "Can I see it?"
No! Nobody is to touch it. Lucy, you may show them if you wish, but nobody is to touch it. I don't want any outside energies on it.
Charlie sat back down, slightly miffed at Lorancy, and waited his turn as the black woman moved from chair to chair, holding the little wooden man. "A woman gave this to my own ma years ago," she explained. "That was when she was a slave. The woman who gave it to her came directly from Africa. I never did know that woman. She was dead before I was born." "What's it for?" Colonel Peters asked. "It's to keep away evil. Things like ghosts, demons, and the evil eye. I gave it to my Mary." Anne looked, wide-eyed, at Asa, but neither said a word. Charlotte turned her face away. "That's ugly."
Evil always is.
Lucy took her chair, holding the figure in her hand. Minerva had gotten up and turned down all 3 oil lamps. The room was dark, but there was still enough light to see the faces of those sitting in the circle. Lorancy took a deep breath.
I want you all to join hands. Take the hand of the person who is sitting next to you.
"What about me and Charlie?" Frank asked. "We've got this empty chair between us."
Reach out and take each other's hand.
"You know what this brings to mind?" Anne broke the silence. "The time Reverend Dill did this with Mary. Right here in this parlor. It didn't have the best outcome."
This time things will go better. Many things have changed, Ma. I know much more than I did back then. Trust me.
"I do, dear. I trust you completely."
Good. I must have the trust of everyone in this room, and I must have it at all times.
She closed her eyes.
I'm going to sit here for a few minutes. Please do not disturb me by talking or making any movement whatsoever. Dr. Stevens, please keep sending me as much of your energy as you can.
"Of course," he said softly. She took a deep breath, then another. All eyes were on her face, except for Henry Alter, who kept glancing at his wife's face to see how she was accepting it all. The breathing got deeper. The sounds of air being taken into her lungs grew farther and farther apart. Lucy, the amulet now resting in her lap, watched the girl's face intently. Colonel Peters never took his gaze from her. Charlotte let her eyes wander from Laurancie's face to Anne's. When this crazy Rancy business was all over, she told herself, she would get another job somewhere. She could not stay on in a house like this much longer. Laurancie took another deep breath. Then she shuddered. They could feel the ripples of her shudder through the circle of hands. Henry glanced again at Minerva. He would have to have a long talk with her when this was all over.
Henry Alter!
His name. He turned back in astonishment at Laurancie calling his name. Yes, he said, and then wondered if he should have broken the silence.
You look fine, you old son of a gun!
What?
I said you look fine. A little more around the middle than you used to have, but that's what comes with prosperity.
The voice was coming out of Laurancie's body, but it wasn't Laurancie's voice. It was a man's voice, a voice he thought he recognized. Ask him his name, Anne whispered. Me? Yes, he's obviously here for you. Ask him his name. He felt very foolish. What is your name?
How about if I give you a hint?
Henry didn't say anything. Speak to him, Anne whispered again. You have to keep talking to them. Okay, sure. Give me a hint.
Let's put the booze in the poison bottles. There! Now do you know who I am?
Let's put the booze, Henry repeated. I can't think of what that could mean. No, that doesn't mean anything to me at all.
52nd Kentucky Infantry, November 1864, Georgia. We got that shipment of booze and all the officers wanted some. We took empty poison bottles from the infirmary and filled them with booze. Didn't have no trouble with our booze after that. Now do you remember Brother Boozehound?
Shorty Stewart? Henry was stunned. Shorty Stewart! Nervy, that's the fellow I told you about. The one who worked in the hospital camp with me. Minerva nodded. How incredible! Then he stopped. But you ain't dead, Shorty. We got a Christmas card from you and your wife last year. No. He shook his head. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Shorty ain't dead. Shorty? Minerva spoke at Laurancie. Henry's right. We did get a Christmas card from you and your wife. It can't be you. Not unless you've passed over since then.
You must be Brother Boozehound's wife. Pleased to meet you. No, it's me all right. If you save your cards, find the one my wife sent you and look at it again. It only has her name on it. I kicked the bucket in May. Hell, that's a year ago this month. Don't seem possible.
We were planning on coming to Kentucky and visiting with you one day, Henry said. I'm sorry to hear you're gone. How did it happen?
Don't know. Didn't know then. Still don't know. I was sitting in the shithouse. Excuse me, ladies. I was sitting in the outhouse, as nice as you please, and I just fell over on my face. When I came to, I was gone. Gone for good. I guess I really took a healthy one, eh, Brother Boozehound?
Charlie and Frank laughed, and the Colonel tried not to. Minerva and Charlotte tried not to be shocked. Anne didn't try. She was shocked. Really, Mr. Shorty, I do think you could watch your language. There are ladies present. This isn't an army camp. This is my private home.
Uh-huh. What you wet and married into, boozy old boy? Well, I'd better get out of here before they start quoting the Bible at me, too.
Do they do that over there? Dr. Stevens asked. Read from the Bible?
Nah, I was just joking. They actually don't mention it over here.
Dr. Stevens was very disappointed. They could see it on his face. Well, maybe, he suggested, you are in a special place where the good book isn't read, but they do read it in other places. I'm sure of that. Quite sure.
You ever been here?
No, the doctor replied, but I've communicated with many spirits from the other side who have assured me—
Then don't try to tell me what they do and don't do. I'm over here and you ain't. Okay, Hen. I'd better get back. Couldn't resist this opportunity to come in and talk to you, though.
Shorty, there was emotion in Henry's voice. Are you happy over there?
Hey, old Boozy. Did you ever know me when I wasn't happy? Goodbye. Was really nice talking to you.
Shorty would enjoy himself no matter where he was, even in the fire pits of hell. Well, from the way he was speaking, Anne said, that just may be the spot he's in. Oh, Ma, the man was a soldier, so he talks like a soldier, Charlie objected. A man is first of all a gentleman, no matter what he later chooses as a profession, young man. And don't you forget it. Oh, Ma. Laurency had been sitting there with her head bowed ever since Shorty Stort had left her. Now she moaned, and all
Dr.
attention was fixed on
Stevens.
her again.
Dr. Stevens?
Yes, I'm here, child.
Ugh.
Daddy? Daddy, can you hear me?
Asa looked at the doctor, but didn't say anything. Do you mean me? The doctor asked. Is it me you are calling Daddy?
Daddy? This is Emma. How are you, Daddy?
Fine, Emma. Just fine. Nice to talk with you again. He beamed at Laurency.
It's always a pleasure for me too, Daddy. I use every chance I can to come through to you.
I should explain, the doctor said to the others, that my daughter Emma has come through at many gatherings like this one. She passed over in 49. That's almost 30 years ago, isn't it? My, how time flies.
Daddy, I've been watching what's happening with the body here.
You mean the Venom Girl's body?
Yes, and it's coming along very nicely. I wonder if I could take it for a while. I'd love to go home and visit Mother in it. Do you think I could? Do you think Mr. and Mrs. Roth would permit me?
Well, I don't know. He was flustered by the idea. After all, it's up to those on the other side, really. Not my say-so at all. You should know that.
I do, but I thought if you and the Roths gave me permission, they might let me have it, only for a few days.
Both Anne and Asa were looking at him, questioningly. He shook his head at them. No, he said, I don't think it's a good idea. The Venom Girl will be needing that body very soon. It shouldn't stray from here now. He shook his head again at the Roths. Besides, your mother would be extremely perturbed by such an action. She loves you, of course, he added quickly, but such a visit wouldn't be wise. She is not a young woman, you know.
Yes, she is, Daddy. She's only 28. That ain't old.
You are forgetting, my dear, that you have been gone almost 30 years. Your mother is 58 now. You people on the other side lose all track of time. We've discussed this before.
Yes, I know we did. Well, it was just an idea. Please give my love to Mother when you see her and my sisters.
I will, Emma dear. I will. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Father, and thank this instrument for me when she awakens.
I will.
Goodbye.
She was gone, and Laurency's head fell forward onto her chest. This was the first chapter in our 3-part journey through the final seance at the Roth house, with Laurency Venom sitting in the middle of it all. Think of this episode as the calm before the storm, the unbelievable storm. Can we talk about Emma for a second? What a sweetheart. And Shorty, somehow in the middle of all this mystery and emotion, he managed to bring a little laughter into the room. I'm so incredibly grateful to my neighbors and friends of 8 years, Scott and Finley, for lending their voices to this story. They've supported Small Town Whispers from the very beginning, and now they're officially part of the world we've been building together. Scott is a podcaster himself, so be sure to check out Carney Saves the World, especially episode 20, where he interviews Tom Stewart from my paranormal podcast. This week's episode closed on something almost angelic, a quiet and beautiful moment between a father and his daughter. But next week, that tenderness gives way to something far more unsettling. Thank you for continuing this journey with me, for listening, wondering, believing, questioning, and for experiencing this story all the way to the end.
Now, Join me under the porch light, the place where memories meet the present and voices from the past still linger in the dark. Tonight, we listen, not to the pages from a book, but to the people who have felt the unexplained and found the courage to share it. Welcome to Porchlight Whispers.
Hey everyone! So far this season, we've had some pretty amazing stories. This is one of those weeks where I don't have anything to share, and it's getting late. So I'm going to have to just put out a call that if you have a story and you've been wanting to share it, please email us at porchlightwhispers@gmail.com or send us a Facebook message at the Small Town Whispers Facebook page. We'd love to hear your story. We're open-minded. It'll be fun. Have I convinced you yet? All right, well, until next time, pay attention.
That was this week's edition of Porchlight Whispers. Do you have an experience of your own to tell? We want to hear your stories. Share your experience and let your small town whispers become part of ours.
And with that, the porch light dims, but the whispers stay with us. Join us again next time when another voice steps into the light.